I'm just trying to get warmed up.
Me, my momo, How now, Brian Coy?
And what's the tip of the tongue, teeth, and the lips?
Oh my God, really?
I think I was. I
Tip of the tongue,
got that
teeth,
from
and
School
the
of Rock, in
lips.
fairness, rather than
Tip
anyone
of the
actually.
tongue, tip of the tongue,
That was just
teeth, and
Jack
the lips.
Black, really.
Yeah, I
in the
love
mirror.
Jack. Or these wristwatches or Swiss wristwatches.
Oh, I've never heard that one now. Wait, red leather, yellow leather?
Red leather, yellow leather, or red lolly, yellow lolly.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or
Sorry, I've just done a little curry burp there, mate.
I did a wee
Did you know?
riff.
Oh, that's all right. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
it's fine. It's
Okay,
totally, they'll blend together.
Parfum.
Parfum.
My trousers are stinking the days. I was at the beach yesterday and I had a little paddle and I just left.
Yeah, 100% thought you meant because you had curry last night. You were like, I'm doing a curry burp.
Yeah.
My
trousers are
stinking
stinking
as
because I was at the beach yesterday and I did a little shit.
Yeah.
Did a little shit in my pants.
That's what I thought you were saying.
No, I
there.
just left my trousers a bit damp after the beach and I forgot to dry them off, and so now they're like stinking. I could smell them in the car. I smell like feet.
No, I know what you mean.
I almost
That's like
wanna-
whenever you leave a wash in the washing
I
machine.
almost want to pop one up on the table here, like a
Let me
leg.
smell it. Go.
Okay, here we
Smell your trousers.
Okay,
We're
There
really
you go.
doing this.
There we go.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? That's rank, isn't it?
No, it's not rank. It's not
rank.
actually
It
bad.
smell like a gap year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It smell like a thigh gap.
But a thigh gap, yeah.
Stinking.
Love thigh gap smell.
Sweaty.
But the smell of it is kind of like, you won't notice it unless you start sweating in them.
Yeah, I know what you
Have
mean.
ever had
Yeah,
that? Like,
yeah.
you
It
ever do a
activates
wash,
it. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you
yeah.
leave it in the washing machine overnight and forget. And then, normally now I just rewash it. But there's been times where I've smelt it and it smelled like fabric softener. And you go, no, that survived. It's fine. And whenever you hang it over the radiators and the heat starts to come on,
Oh, yeah.
you get that wet dog smell.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
go,
wet-
no, it needs to go back in the
Yes.
washing machine.
Have you ever met a male student who hasn't smelled a bit like that because they haven't figured out radiators? Like nearly
Oh my God.
all the other male students, whenever I was a student as well, it was like that too, where it was like,
smelled like
yeah, I mean, we didn't have heating and we were putting our clothes in the radiators anyway. Just sort of like, sure, that's what you do. And
that's
it's
what
like,
your ma does.
yeah, you're like imitating, you're like a cave drawing of washing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
but you're just like sticking that shit on the radiator and it's just doing nothing. And you're like,
You
oh,
got
it's.
hack too.
You're yeah, that's how you clean your clothes back then. You do a bit of hawk too on it.
Yeah, that's all you did in uni. So how do we stain? You go hack too, spit on that thing.
That's like people over 60 when they're drunk getting interviewed in the street, instead of like going like, what's one sexual move they get? It's like, what's one laundry tip you've given to us?
Yeah.
Hawk too. Give a wee rub, you know?
Yeah, hack too, spit on that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then rub the handkerchief on their forehead just before they go to school.
Oh,
Was that not a thing?
Yes, my
Didn't that
ma
occasion-
used to do this thing where she would lick the hanky,
Mm-hmm.
and I always remember the smell of her lipstick.
Ah, yeah.
Do you know
I
what
know
mean?
exactly you mean, yeah.
Because what are
Do
you?
elaborate.
It sounded like a wee Victorian book. I always remember the
Yeah,
my mum
yeah.
would lick her hanky.
She'd
that
give me the little
sounds-
cup and the ball and the string. I had one of them in like P7, which is fucking. It makes me sound very old, but it was more just.
retro toys.
My brother bought it at a haunted house, I think, in Crawfordsburn, and they had a little gift shop then where you could get a little Victorian cup and ball.
That was very specific, wasn't it?
That
It
was-
like,
yeah.
My brother bought it at a haunted house in Crawfordsburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
that still
sorry,
there?
we'll have to do our thing.
Oh yeah.
Ready?
Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Hello. Oh fuck, sorry.
Right.
Do you wanna do it?
let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Huck the-
Huck too. Hi, with the Queen. Welcome to this week's episode of Word Up. What's the crack with you? My good friend Luke McGibbon. He is here to be my support,
I don't know what I was going to do this for.
emotional support person before
Yeah.
the match on Wednesday.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, part of me is going, why did I agree to this?
Mm,
And then another part of me is like, ach, I'm excited. It is exciting.
yeah.
But I haven't done any, and I can honest to God say this, I haven't done any training.
Have you
done
done?
3 sessions.
I heard you've been about,
But I was really sick.
but somebody told
But I'm
me.
not making excuses because you know what? Diona thinks she has this in the bag and I don't know if she has.
I don't know if she has either. That's one of the ones that's a coin toss for me.
Mhm.
But then I'm mostly
I mean,
judging
skill
it on.
versus tenacity.
Yeah. Which one are you?
I'm going to be like Scrappy Doo. 'Cause we were talking last night on the phone. She was like, I'm just going to hold you at arm's length and by the nose. And I was like, and I'll be like Scrappy Doo, like, let me at her, let me at her. Because she's bigger than me. you're,
yeah,
like,
she's got
taller
reach and all that
but
stuff.
I got grip.
Hey, you know,
reckon.
yeah, sure. And she's got ribs, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Aye, I think you'll be grand, honestly. You're one of the ones that's a toss up for me. I've mostly just been judging it by like who looks like they're going to training a lot, like
yeah.
and like who's no stranger to the gym or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then now I have a source in the camp who said they sparred with you and they said that just no matter what was happening, you were still had energy and were still joking away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and throwing some serious digs, but also like
Awesome.
you just didn't never appeared to be tired at all.
Yeah.
Which seems pretty. I could believe that. I could believe that.
Yeah. Do you know that's the only thing that I think I have going for me is that like whenever it comes to endurance.
Aye, cardio, like
the
ADHD
cardio,
mostly.
Yeah, totally. Like I can't help but mess up. I kind of just been farting about in the wee things and like having a laugh and enjoying myself. So it seems to be good that way. Like in terms of, I think I won't get tired.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, sometimes that's half the win, isn't it? Half the win. Like there were some matches last year where there was somebody just dominated the first round, used all their energy, and then they were just fucked. And then as for the rest of the match, like, you know, full time.
I think that you need to do the boxing next year, though.
I'd like to do it. I'd hear, put me against someone weird, like Graham Watson or something, or Sean. I know. I don't think I'd win against you,
and
Sean.
Mark McCartney.
I think you need another short king. You know?
Sean.
Yeah. Are you short? I don't think Sean's a short man.
Sean isn't a short man.
I'm average height.
Are you?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
I'm
average. Fuck's sake.
I'm just normal.
That's the only time he's ever want to be average right now, isn't it? No, you and Mark McCartney, I think it'd be a good old match.
I think we'd do all right. But I think it's one of them things. But I wouldn't like to be, because sometimes they do some weird matchups, don't they? Where like last year they put Sean Hegarty against Pete Giffen. And I think Pete acquitted himself well there. But like, if you look at the two of them, you go, that's not a great matchup, is it? That's not very fair.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, Ian Thompson, who was paired with somebody who was like,
Cormac, was it?
Cormac McDowell, like a decade younger than him, runs a marathon every day or some fucking shit.
Yeah, right enough. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Cormac's real sporty, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a real runner boy. Like, so I haven't seen much of him now.
Neither have I. He just showed up for the boxing and then he's disappeared again.
Yeah, apparently
Cormac,
showed up for
where
that.
are you?
I don't even think he stuck around for the whole boxing. I think he just showed up, threw some digs and fucked off. But like, I think he's been in the pav a couple of times. So he must be joining it. What's that?
Like a true Andy Town man.
Yeah.
Showed up, threw a few digs, fucked off all day long.
You may raise yourselves from now on, son.
Yeah, here it sounds like my dad's life story. But yeah, so I would like to see you doing it next year. That would be awesome. I'm really excited to see Shane and Sean.
That'll be a good wee match.
Shane and Sean's going to be good because they are like sort of well matched in terms of their physical build, how much they've both been training, stamina, cardio, and then Paddy and Mickey.
I'll be interested now because it's new Paddy, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's like
Paddy's lost some serious
3 stone, I believe.
Really
3 stone, isn't it? Something like that. Something crazy like that. Which is like, I mean, how many months? About 4 or 5 months, maybe tops.
I mean, Mickey is younger than Paddy, but then I don't know. I haven't seen if Mickey's been training. Paddy has.
I think he's hustling.
Training.
I think he's doing a bit of pull room hustle, and he's getting on like he's doing loads of coke and doing loads of drugs and all. And I think he's been going to the gym every day. I'm basing that on nothing. I just
see. I don't understand why you would want to make it out like you haven't been doing the training, because you would want to make it out like you have, so that they were like at least a wee bit intimidated. Like I am ashamed to say that I've only done. I wish now maybe that I had done more, but I think
she's lying, Diona. She's lying. I saw her training outside.
Yeah,
she's hitting the bag.
Been giving it all.
She's been hitting the bag, Diona.
This is secretly a PT.
Yeah.
But I think
it could be.
If I do get beaten spectacularly on Wednesday, I'll probably want to do it next year and take it really, really seriously. But then I don't know. I don't really care enough right now because I've got so much fucking going on that like this is only a wee.
You know what you should do is
it's good, but do you know what? It's for a brilliant cause as well.
Yeah, aye. Children's Hospital this year, isn't it?
Children's Cancer Fund.
Do you know what you should do is you should I was gonna say arm your kids, maybe not, but like you got 4 kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I think you should just give them some boxing gloves and say just like once a day, could you just jump out of a cupboard or something and just go for me?
That is what happens.
Yes, yeah.
That fucking is what happens.
Yeah.
For your kids.
Yeah. Then you have to explain
an excuse when social services.
I was going to say social services come around. You're just like, hey, I'm just practicing for the match. You know,
like whack-a-mole.
Just
Boom.
Yeah. It's like Miss Diamond, why do you have 4 golden belts in your house? It's like, well, there's the heavyweight under 10s division that I just won this morning.
Winners
win. I
win.
beat the shit out of my child. Winners win, kid. Here,
should have got Tom.
Should have got Tom in. Here, did you see him posting himself?
Give me
he's fucking ripped at 50, man. What's he? Yeah, he's fucking. He posted a picture of himself without the shirt yesterday, and he looks fucking woo. He's
would you back him like?
I mean, I think it would be hard to buck him. I'd have to get past the muscle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be like trying to fuck 2 bricks, without the cement.
Oh, his glutes.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, any part of him, but get a dick between any part of him, and you're still gonna be fucking raw in 3 minutes.
Just I got a mental image there
Yeah.
of a raw dick.
But you're looking like a rare steak by the end of yourself.
I should have got him to like give us. Wondered
It's like, were you circumcised? Not when I started.
I am not. Tom the rabbi. That's what we'll call him.
Fuck me, I'm gonna skin your dick raw.
Yeah.
Put it between the breasts. Isn't that what they call it?
I hope no grannies are watching this. That's the one thing I thought whenever the Huck
sure.
girl. I was like, that is brilliant. She should lean into that. Only God love her if her wee daddy has to see it.
Do you know what? I sometimes wonder about this whole thing about dads and daughters having sex, and it's like, I mean, I feel
tell
like
my dad never.
they're never to have sex.
No, that'd be a bygone fucking chance of about 1 million siblings. But I tell him never ever to watch my podcast.
Oh, okay, right.
Like,
Yeah.
You are not going to be comfortable. You won't be able to look me in the eye after. You're going to find out some shit that you don't want to know. It'd be different if he was one of those dads who was like, sort of like all right with it. But my dad, you couldn't even really talk about your period in front of.
That's strange, isn't it? Oh, yeah, there was an old joke somebody used to do as well. My mum's so pro-life that she'd try and have you keep your period. It just reminded me of her.
That is fucking brilliant.
That was Kelly Turtle. She's gone now. She's a Green Party candidate.
Oh, Kelly Turtle, is she?
Was
that her joke? Thanks, Kelly. I'm stealing that.
She was great. But I think it's weird because, like, well, I don't know what a dad's attitude towards his son having sex is. I think mine was just sort of like, well, go ahead. Like, he wasn't for or against. He wasn't. My dad wasn't, but he wasn't against it. He was, I think we'd had some talks and all that, but largely the internet had done a lot of the heavy lifting.
Was he telling you to watch yourself and all?
Watch yourself sounds like she's got a knife.
Them bitches be out to catch you. Them bitches be out to get your babies.
Oh yeah, it's like, are we doing the birds and the bees? No, son, we're doing the gold digger talk.
Yeah.
We're doing.
You live in Dundonald. You have to remember your sperm's worth something, son. Now don't be throwing those handkerchiefs in the bin.
Do you know what was funny about that is that I was the only one who was middle class in my house whenever I think about it, because like the house was in like a middle class area and I was being raised like middle class, but my parents were from a working class background, and also they told me as an adult they could not afford that house. Right. And so basically my mum and dad were living in just financial agony every day while I'm like pip,
Yeah. Oh bless you. We're like, well, it's great being me. So.
Yeah, they're probably fucking eating potato waffles where I'm eating fucking
Mother, why
filet.
aren't you cleaning my inheritance? Oh my god, yes, there's
it's
a
kind
lot
of embarrassing that it was just me. Well, obviously I got my brother as well, but I feel like he was smarter.
For that. They wanted you guys to be middle
class.
This
is it. Yeah, this is it.
That's the new form.
Turn me into the scum I am.
What is it? Tommy Tiernan says that, like, the way most English people want their child to grow up just to be richer than them, whereas with Irish people it's they want your kid to grow up just to be a bit taller than you. But it's starting to change where there is sort of miasma around the middle class now. Because my cousin was actually talking, we do voice notes, and she was saying she's sharing an office at the minute, and she was like, she sounded like my sister in this, because they both have professional jobs, and jobs by defunct. Like they are professional.
Are they criminals?
But,
this is what you said, like that.
Well, my sister's professional.
They are professionals.
Drug dealer.
Yeah.
And she works in pharmacy.
She's got AHND.
So they were talking about this girl I work with, she's really lovely. Like her mum's a barrister and her dad's a magistrate, but like she's really lovely. They're like working class, so they kept her.
Right.
There is that sort of generation now where it's like middle class kids with working class parents.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
That's the problem though. Even in my sister would say that my nephew, like, she spoiled him too much because she would have gotten him everything that he wanted, like everything on the Christmas list, never went without.
Yeah.
And then they get to 18 and they're supposed to go out and get a job. And they're like, why do I want to stand and work for £8 an hour? That's not going to get me. Like one shift isn't even going to buy that one game that you got for me just because it was a weekend.
Right. I'll barely pay for one horse riding lesson.
Yeah. Kids these days.
Are we going to be equestrians now?
Literally a wee equestrian bunny.
Is he all?
My niece.
Or she, sorry.
She loves the horses.
Right.
Aye, all day long. And I'm like, look at you leaving your kids to horse riding lessons.
It's funny, like whenever you're younger, whenever you saw somebody doing horse horse riding lessons, you go, oh, they're landed gentry, they're all rich. Now I like think of young people riding horses. I'm like, they're going to be a peeler. They're going to be like a riot cop.
Or
You know what I mean?
where I live specifically, I do see kids with horses sometimes, but
Right.
they're travellers.
Oh yeah. That's the
Yeah.
the
That's
cool.
different.
Yeah,
Of equestrian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different kind of horse.
You're different
as
ends
well.
of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But like I'll be driving up the back roads and there'll be like a horse and buggy in front of me and it's just shitting all over the road and you're going, for fuck's sake, like
I
you can't overtake it either because you're afraid to spook the horses. Do
Oh
you know
God,
what I
yeah,
mean?
right enough, yeah. And then you get the horse into the lift with you as well to get upstairs. Wasn't that a thing? In Ballymun, they say.
There was I knew a girl who worked for she wasn't a social worker, but she worked for like a housing association. And whenever those houses went in up at the Windy Gap,
Aye.
she called to the door and they were
Sorry.
literally keeping, I know it's called the Windy Gap, they were keeping a horse up the stairs.
Right.
Mhm.
There you go.
Legit
Wow.
upstairs, like in the houses.
Wow.
That's just like that's the basis of a joke.
Yeah,
I
really.
don't know what the punchline
Fuck
is.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Honda Civic of a horse upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Man on a horse walk into a Windy Gap, what happens next. But like I know what you mean. Like yeah.
I think that was made into a porno.
It sounds
years ago.
kind of like it.
The horse in the Windy Gap.
It's
There's-
crazy how close we are to like rural things in Belfast, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you literally go one street over and you're in a fucking farm.
Yeah.
I went up
yeah.
the back. There was a load of traffic the other day, and I was driving up a Springfield, and I went up that wee back road behind Dermot Hill, and I had to stop a car because there was pigs crossing the road, and I was like,
I know.
like,
I know what you're talking.
"Do you know what
I
I'm
love
on
that
about?"
shit.
It's like the wee Quaker farm or
about.
Yeah,
something.
Yes,
yeah,
it's where you go like if you're skint and the Quakers help you out or they'll look after your
Serious?
kids and
Our
stuff.
Quakers
I'm gonna
are
take
mad
note
good
of
for
that.
that shit.
They're really good.
They're
for
one of
it.
them good religions that
They
does
run
the nice stuff.
They run the cafe. Shout out to the Quakers Cafe at McCabery.
Yeah, all oats. All oats. And we
Well,
can't
there
reach
you
out.
go. They genuinely do. I wish I was joking. I'm not. But yeah, they're good people.
Ah,
know,
fair fucks them.
The Quakers. Yeah, the oats. I just picked up on that.
Yeah,
there
no,
now.
it was. I was like, I was
They do
happy
the
to
best
move on.
porridge, Emmons.
There's
Yeah.
Here, I got really into this documentary about like bare knuckle traveler boxing, and the
Have
wee
I
call out
seen
videos.
this?
It was on Netflix, or it's only just off, but it was called Knuckle.
And is there one of the women was talking about how if this is the one that I watched, it just stuck out in my head. She's just sitting there and she's like it isn't really that, good for us because one of these days, like they're just gonna die.
yeah.
And I was like, this is actually really sad.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be laughing then. I'm so desensitized.
No, but was it good? I
Ah,
might
it was
have been the
class.
same
It was
one.
class. No, it was great. I just love the wee call out videos. Do you know what I mean? Where they do the wee,
best.
and this guy's been filming them. It was like a documentary where he'd started. Well, once was like I started filming in 1997, and when he finished there in 2010, it's like, well, it's 2 hours. What the fuck did you lose? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The whole time, like there must have been a good 5 or 6 year stretch where you're like, nothing is
happened
is
there.
coming in the
How
film
did you
here.
edit that?
Yeah. It's like just probably desensitized to the bare knuckle fights. Just
Yeah,
going
they're
like.
that's only a
Oh,
broken.
sure,
nose
yeah,
and
he's only got a
busted eye
concussion.
socket.
Sure, yeah, I need a stroke or more, which
What,
is
do you
also a
see?
porn title,
Imagine.
isn't it?
Stroke or
But-
more.
Stroke
Aye.
or more, stroke or
Yo.
more.
There's one that like of those call out videos that I can't find anymore, but was
Is it where
everywhere.
he gets? We're on the same wavelength.
It's one where like the fella starts like shouting at him down the thing, and then at the end he starts like shadow boxing at the
Right.
camera, and he's going, but the person filming it goes, "Ah, fuck, he's taking a fit!" Like, but he wasn't taking a fit; he was just shadow boxing. But he
actually
looked that
shadow- he
stupid
looked-
doing it.
Oh,
He's
I'm
like, "Oh
thinking-
shit, I thought you were taking a fit."
Oh, that's so
We
embarrassing.
send this one to my sister
so
every now and
Still
again.
put it up.
Oh, they still put it up. He's
That
taking
was
a
the
fit.
best take. Everything else was worse than that.
Yeah.
Everything else was worse.
And
What
we're
was he
like,
doing?
We'll go with that one.
He must have
Johnny.
been on the fucking ground. The other ones, he must have been actually taking a fit.
The one that kills me, which we send to my sister every now and again, because we say this is you when you lose your temper. He's so angry that he's literally like the definition of incensed. He's apoplectic with rage.
Mm.
So he goes, "No, fucking talking about my mother!"
It's
But
like
he's
an
just
auctioneer.
like screaming, and you can't understand what he's saying
Aye.
because he's so like fucking
I love
pissed
that.
off.
I
It
love
is
that. Fair
brilliant.
play to them. I always love how low they go with the insults too. They get really, really low, and like
Go.
it goes with it. Oh, I like. Well, now keep in mind this is a quote, and he's going like, "You look like you've got Down syndrome." Like,
Oh, that's his insult.
even
yeah.
the way he pronounced it, and then the other one, like they kept going through the vein of like disability, like you look like you're disabled in this way or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of them said something like, "I'm going to leave you with multiple sclerosis," and I was like, "That's great. That's great." He's like,
I'm
because
going
that's
to leave you with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
Like they actually pronounce the whole. Even
Yeah. yeah.
layman says
I really
MS,
dig that.
like.
I really dig that he's probably done his research for that, because I wouldn't.
What
Multiple
was the
sclerosis.
gnarliest fight that was in it?
Oh, I mean, they're all a bit gnarly, to be honest. There's like, there's a couple. There was one where it's like, it's not over till one of them says it's over. So it's rarely just called off, which means it could go until someone dies, because
Is it
some people don't
Quidditch?
want to give up. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like, you grab somebody's golden snitch from under their tummy or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
game can go on indeterminately.
But there's this guy, and he's clearly concussed, and he's still insisting on going on. But he's like, they keep on having to stop around because he hits the ground, and then he gets up, and he's like, no, keep going. And then he's just immediately on the ground again, just over and over again. And someone has to go, no, you're done. You're not going to be.
Get knocked down.
Yeah,
Back it up again.
He was pinned against a tractor at some point as well. That's what I think's funny. Is like, there's not that much done to make it an arena other than a circle of people. So like, you end up. It was like on a country road as well. Imagine if you're like just.
There's not much done to make it an arena other than a circle of people. They're beautifully described.
Yeah, it's very middle
Phenomenon
class.
of bare knuckle boxing audiences.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going like, I'm leaving a bad TripAdvisor review for this.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Does it pay in?
I think so. I think it's one of them ones where it's like, like when you go to like a wee local football match, and somebody from a paramilitary comes around with a bucket, and,
Yeah.
and you go, and they go,
It's
it's not for the team, really, is
but
it?
it's also not. What's the word I'm searching for?
Legal.
No, it's not. It is obligatory. It's
Yes.
obligatory. It's not
Yes.
voluntary. You
Yes.
have to put the pound in the bucket.
Yeah, they'll give you a look.
Sorry, I still
otherwise.
feel shaky after I took a coffee this morning and necked
Few
it,
hits.
and I feel like I've still got like a wee caffeine hit.
You should do that before the fight. I think that'll give you.
Like,
Yeah, I think it'll give you a boost.
yeah.
Though I don't know what caffeine does. Caffeine? Well,
Caffeine?
that's how much I drink
Nice
it. But
amalgamation.
the caffeine does for your shits.
You shits.
Does it give you a bit of the shits?
It might. Yeah.
You don't want the shits in boxing now.
No, you
is
walk
the-
on stage and.
Yeah,
diarrhea.
100%.
Unless you do
One dig in the-
that as a tactic, like you shit yourself, so they don't even want to come near you.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Just
yeah.
stink them out. I mean, that feels kind of like if the Viet
Can I borrow
Cong
your
entered
trousers?
boxing.
Is it?
Stick him on the table.
Ew.
Ew.
The Viet Cong entered boxing.
Yeah. I feel because didn't they use a lot of underhanded stuff? Like they're popping out of wee foxholes and all, living in tunnels and all that
Guerrilla
shit.
warfare.
Yeah, proper guerrilla warfare. You should do that in the
Yeah,
ring. You
Just
know,
like go in.
come out from under the stage or something. Bring
Dirty
a gun.
dirty
Bring a knife.
protested.
Yeah.
Just cover your feet like Rambo, only with shit.
And then the green, white, and orange corner, we have
Dun-
Robert Sands weighing it
Oh,
80
it's
pounds.
You're not allowed to talk about the hunger
know.
strikers.
I
Like,
know.
I won't be allowed.
I know. I
We're-
should know the crowd. I should know the audience, shouldn't I?
We're talking about the birds and the bees talk.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
How,
now.
Yes.
how did you receive yours?
That's That's the float like a bird, sting like a bee.
Yeah, stink
Um,
like a bee.
Stink like a bee. Yeah.
So did your dad say to you?
I had a wee chat, but it was more just sort of him going like, and it was weird because it was one of those ones where mum makes an excuse to leave, but she couldn't think of a good one. She was just like, "I'm just going into the kitchen now."
Oh,
I left me
really?
and my dad in the living room, and he very much had a sort of like, "So what do you not know? What do you want to know?" And at that point, I
Aw,
kind
your
of.
dad sounds cool.
Well, it was pretty cool to be honest, and luckily I kind of knew the gist really from that point. But though
Did you have to?
he maybe shouldn't have taken my word for it.
Was it like Santa, where you had to pretend that you didn't know, so that
Uh,
you could still look like a good child and get presents?
No, I made no effort to pretend to be a good child. It was
right,
just a
okay.
wee wanker, but
Literally.
oh, no, not at that point. I was weirdly really late in the old wanking
Were
game.
ya?
It was really upsetting because like I'd pretended that I'd started wanking when people were asking me about it. I was like, yeah, sure, I've done that,
All
and
the
then I'd
time.
done it, and then I was proper pumped to come in and go like, here, have you tried this? This is class, but everyone had already tried it, you
And they were
know.
all having sex by off stage because we're
Yeah.
23.
Yeah. Tell you what, it really put a bummer on the degree. But
Yeah.
I kind of knew the gist, and so I just made
The
some
jizz.
the gist. I knew the gist.
Did you get a birds and bees talk, Sean?
Yeah, but my dad was 41 when he had me. You know what I mean?
41, aye.
So like he
parents
didn't
older?
have the software update. You know what I mean?
Ah.
For the birds and bees. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was getting the old school
Yeah,
What
we're
would
getting
the old school be?
was it like metaphorical? Was it or like
Yeah,
the wasps and the pigeons?
special hugs and the wasp?
it was very conservative, put it that
Was
way.
it?
It
Aye.
didn't go
Was it
into
like
much
now on your
depth.
wedding night, Sean?
Yeah.
Was it all couched in
It's all
like
very Catholic.
pre-ceasefire
Was
language?
this on the morning of your wedding? Please
Yeah.
tell me. that.
Make sure you wear a peace wall when you have sex with her son.
Yeah.
Keep them out.
Keep the gates locked after 11 o'clock.
To be honest, now I think when we were having this talk, I've been with somebody for a wee while there. I was with somebody from like 16 to I was 20. So and so there was some fingering going on and all that, and there was some fingering going on. I tell you,
Serious
some fingering and
fingering.
we weren't
foot turning.
we weren't
Food
great.
turning?
We weren't
I
great
love
at
that
pretending to be quiet. And so they probably heard some
Yeah.
business. I think at some
Yeah.
point there. I tell you what, I broke her hymen once when we were fingering, and there's
So
quite
once and only once, I believe.
yeah. So
Apparently they can grow
oh
back.
god, I heard that too. Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
just a
You play a lot of
piece of,
chess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, it's really
I've started recently rewatching Secret Diary
Diary of a Call Girl.
Diary of a Call
See,
Girl.
yeah,
where
Netflix started
she
throwing that at me
uses the
too.
condom to make the guy come because he's taking too long.
Right.
So she sticks her fingers up his ass, and I always thought
Ah.
that would be like not very nice. Like not the fingers up the ass, maybe. But like
I'm
if you're
all told.
forced ejaculation.
It's like you want to. I mean, ideally, coming as like a cooperative process
The
where
co-op.
you're
I just imagine the loaf of markdown.
where you
bread
allow it.
there.
like
Like when
yeah.
it shouldn't be the go-to image.
You go down to
Everybody
someone's
puts it.
perineum and there's
Are
a
we
yellow
sorted?
sticker.
Oh, Harba. Right.
Oh, fuck,
Do
yeah.
you want to hear the word
Causing
of the
some
week?
perineum chap. Yeah,
Perineum.
or perineum. Sorry. Opsimath. That's very. It seems a little Latin looking. It looks a bit like It looks a bit like a demon's name. In a,
Does it actually, does it?
I think it makes me think of like a polymath who's like somebody who, pardon me, can learn a lot of fucking stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like they know 20 languages or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like so an opsimath is it's
You're
something to do
on
with
the
learning.
It is.
But learning, and this isn't the dirty word.
No, this is not the dirty word.
Okay. Oh, that makes it harder. There's a dirty word.
The bishop said to the nun.
Opsimath. I mean, all I can think of is like learning to see in a certain way, like
So,
optician.
like you're thinking optician, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's somebody who turned up for a maths class when they were meant to be elsewhere.
Oopsie.
On the theme of timing there, you're right. Because
Okay.
Just in terms of in a
Someone who
really
can learn
loosely
time.
related way. No. An opsimath is someone who begins to learn later on in life.
Oh shit! I'm definitely that. I really
Do
feel
you
like
think so?
I think a lot of us are that because
So
sure.
like mature students.
Oh yeah,
But then
yeah,
you
yeah.
would say everyone's an opsimath, wouldn't you?
I didn't enjoy learning until I was about 22, which is still, I suppose, early for some. But like, you know, there was 20 years of schooling there that I was not interested in before that.
I often think of how somebody actively tried to teach me French. And if I was to like go
You
back
seemed-
and try to do that now, I'd be paying a fortune. But
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
Youth really is wasted on the young.
Oh yeah. Well, you have
Well,
other stuff on your plate.
education is wasted on. They should make us all grow up in ignorance until we're like 25,
Yeah,
until we're really
and then it's
thirsty
ABCs.
for it.
Like episode of Bernard's Watch.
What's burning?
Do you never see? It's
Oh.
that show where there was a child and he had a watch that he could freeze time with.
Yes,
Is,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a Goosebumps episode like that too.
There is, and they never get to. They never go into the creepy sexual implications of it. Luckily,
There's also that Christmas film, 'Twas the Night. I used to love
What's
it.
the night?
And it uses a weird way to explain how Santa gets around the world.
Oh, I get
One
you. Yeah,
night.
he freezes
So
time.
like he has this like Christmas decoration that he hits a button on and it freezes time.
Awesome.
So then he moves from house to house, like does all the shit and then starts time again.
Right.
But
Oh my
then
God.
the sort of it's Bryan Cranston, I think.
Is
It's
it?
like,
As
is it like-
Santa?
that?
he's not Santa, but he's like a guy who he knocks Santa out or something. So then he has to deliver the presents.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
all the presents are crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Blue meth. What is it called?
name.
What is it called again?
Twas the night. You
the
said?
blue.
Oh, the blue meth. Aye, meth.
What's that? So he freezes time. Imagine he just froze it, and then it took him all that time to get around the world, and then you get unfroze, and you were like, "Mommy, why am I 23?"
I tell you
know
what,
what I mean?
meth does feel like freezing time. To be honest, I've done meth once.
Have you?
Yeah, just once. Just
Get
once.
away!
Yeah.
Tell
yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah.
Luke
It was-
McGibbon, you scoundrel!
It was like the first time I smoked weed, and I was trying to impress these older guys, and I managed to impress them. And then they gave me this Coke can with stuff on on it to smoke, and I was like, why is nobody else smoking this?
These older guys, were they like
yeah.
crack addicts? Probably
No,
just
not
got
really.
hold of
Not
it
really. I think they just got a hold of it. Like they were mostly
Yeah.
just into grass.
and wanted to try it.
Yeah, and they were like, let this 18-year-old boy try it first for the
Go.
crack.
So what happened?
It's not much, just hot and itchy and just fast.
Were you
know?
scratching? You're
No,
like,
no,
"Well,
not
come
really.
over and clean all that shit up for you for $2, man.
I mean more like
Suck
you've like.
Man, I'm so good. I got these cheeseburgers, man. Anyone who hasn't seen that movie is missing out the reference, but we're not explaining.
We were all lying on a trampoline as well, which was very again,
Really?
yeah.
Used to be called the jumpoline till your ma got on one.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And I remember going into this guy's house as well, and like his parents were talking to me, and I was like looking at them with my eyes really wide and just not hearing anything that they said, and just like I was like, they were like, "Why are you here?" And I was just like, "Ice machine." And I just got a load of ice, and I was just
That's also a
Sucking on
metaphor.
ice most
If
of
you
the
were
day.
Sucking on there, they gave you ice.
yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
Well, then again, that sounded a bit weird, like nefarious. Like
But-
now you've got this, suck on this.
I was pretty boring, but there wasn't too much that one could do because we were kind of in the
In
arse end of
Dundonald?
nowhere. No, it wasn't in Donald. You see, it was in the countryside. But it was,
Ballymena.
no, not even
No.
between Dundonald and my school, Lagan College.
And
But-
see, this is what I mean as well. Like you can literally just go between things, and like.
And also, they
countryside.
didn't tell me it was meth. I found out from somebody else later that,
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
described it, and they're like, "Yep, sounds like meth." So I don't know. I don't know, but
They are absolute
I do
bastards.
like the story. I like the idea of it being a story about trying meth when you're like 18.
You need to do a
But,
stand-up set about that.
Well, see, right, that used to be the story that I would tell before I did stand up. That made people go, "Oh, you should do stand up." And then anytime I've tried it on stage, I'm like, I haven't been able to make it funny because it's just weird and lame as well. Just people just giving a child fucking methamphetamine and seeing what happens.
Accidental meth ingest.
Yeah, Luke McGibbon, meth head at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah. Oh my
Meth head.
God.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. Yeah, and I could be handing out flowers and scratching.
You were actually
myself.
Quite young then. You were the opposite of an opsimath.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's when you try meth later on in life.
I always think as well, when you have terminal illness, why do people with terminal illnesses try more heroin and meth? You know, I feel like you'd sort of go, sure, if nothing to lose, give
Yeah,
me a wee score bag.
exactly. You would just go, you know what?
Aye.
You know what I've always wanted to do?
Yeah.
That's
Bit
like
of
whenever
meth.
my granny
Get
was
busy.
unwell. Well, my granny was dying and she had dementia, and which is a terrible illness. Give me cancer any day over dementia.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
get the good medicine.
Mm.
You get some sort of palliative care, whereas dementia, they're just like, it doesn't matter if you're shitting on your hands and clapping. That's the way it goes, Mary. But my granny was given diazepams,
Yeah.
whenever she was dying. And then they stopped them on her prescription. And
That's
my
annoying.
mum, my ma, I don't know where I'm saying mum because I'm with you and I'm being posh. My ma rang the doctors and was like, look, I've got my ma's prescription here. There's no diazepam on it. And the doctor actually had the cheek to turn around to my ma
Aye.
and say, well, the thing is that they're addictive and we just wouldn't want. And my mom
She's
went,
fucking dying.
She actually did. She was like, well, she's fucking dying. I mean, we're not really worried about her getting addicted to anything at this stage in her life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
An opsiatic.
And to be fair, with dementia, it's probably quite easy. It's probably a bit easier to get clean. You're like,
Yeah.
I've got a real craving for something.
That's brilliant.
That's horrible.
That is fucking brilliant. Yeah.
Maybe he's got a.
Dementia.
What do you call
alcoholic, just like, I
Aye.
don't think I've ever drank before. You know what I mean?
But I'm gagging
But
for one.
I would absolutely love one right now. Do you know what I mean? I suppose being an alco, like speaking from personal experience, is sort of like having dementia
Aye.
because there's a lot of nights you can't remember.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then people are talking to you and telling you.
Like, I'm your
everything
son,
they
and you
do.
go, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Who are you? Do you know what I mean? Like that. I always describe my drinking days as like, waking up after a blackout is like your mates have all watched this absolutely fucking cracker film
Hmm.
that you have never seen, but
Yeah.
you're the main character in.
Oh, yeah, and it's also like a teen comedy as well,
Yeah.
where like all the jokes are you getting your dick out, and you don't remember that either.
Have you ever been that boy? Have you?
I
been
used to be a bit dick outy, yeah.
Dick,
I used
yeah.
to be quite the dick outer, yeah.
I do think.
But I what I really used to, and this tells you about all my fucking complexes as a teenager. Whenever I got drunk, I used to
See how I leaned in
I
there.
used to accuse everyone of condescending. I'd be like, "You're condescending. You're being patronizing.
Yeah.
You're patronizing me." And it's like, no, they're speaking to you as if you're steaming because you're steaming. That's what that is.
Why are you talking to me like
They-
that?
Yeah, they want you to understand them because you're fucking understanding about one syllable an hour.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they would have to fucking. You need
That
subtitles.
brought me back to whenever I was high off my face during my first childbirth.
Mm.
They had given me that pethidine, and then I was on the gas and air. And I remember it felt like I was just floating further and further away from everyone. But the midwives must be highly skilled in talking to these people, such as myself, because I remember actually laughing in the moment because I went, "You're talking to me as if I'm really far away from you." And it's funny because I feel really far because she was going, "Bruna, what I want you to do now is," like as if she was going, "Come back to me." And then at one
Echoing
stage,
as she says it. Probably.
see, because I was laughing so much, going, she's tried this stuff because she knows how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And she was going, "Now what we're going to do, you're going to come back down off the ceiling and you're going to push." And I was going, but I was going, and at one stage, there was actually one of those wee moments where I wish it had been recorded, where she tried to like hold this as if it's a gas and air, right? And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
went, "Okay, I think it's enough of that." And I was like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, whenever she doesn't want to give the nun the envelope. I was like going to her, "No." And she was trying to take it off me, and I was going, no, like trying to get
One more hit, man.
one last hit. Yeah, that's like my sister still laughed to this day. There was a time where we were getting kicked out of the Devonish, and
Oh wow, you'd have to do a lot to get that now.
wasn't our fault actually.
Oh yeah.
No, we didn't do any. We weren't actually fully getting kicked out. It was just throwing out time, and we were still standing talking, right? Because I still had a drink. So with the bouncer, I didn't realise that my sister's seen this, but I still had my drink in my hand with the straw and everything, and I was just chatting away, and they were like, "Right, girls, that's enough. What? Everybody's going home if you've got no homes to go to." So he took the glass off me, and I went, "Wait a minute." But as I was having the conversation, I lifted the straw and I just followed the bouncer, getting every last morsel of the drink out before he walked away with the glass. And I turned around and my two sisters were just standing there with tears going, "God forbid he take 20 pence worth of drink off you, bro, now, you know, alcoholic." But I literally followed the man, like he didn't even realise that I was like some Daffy Duck character, just
That's really fun. That's how they got you out as well, is it? They
Yeah,
like lower,
just like a sausage on the end of a stick.
yeah. It's like whenever
We're
somebody
talking
bakes.
about the Devonish here, it'd be a big sausage.
When somebody bakes a pie, somebody bakes a pie in a cartoon, and you get
The
you carried on the steam.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it was
That's
like.
you, but with the drink.
Yeah, that was me with the drink.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy a drink, Luke?
Not as much as I used to. I think, before I did stand up, I used to drink a lot more. And like I went through all these phases of being different kinds of drunk and being a dick out drunk and everything.
Oh.
But that was only, now weirdly, I would only have got my dick out whenever I was very skinny. Whenever there was times whenever I was really feeling myself and all. And there was like a time where I wasn't eating very much at all. There was,
Yeah.
well, my
Wasn't
eating was
maybe the
quite
healthiest.
disordered. Yeah. And but I was seeing myself
Sure, we've all
differently.
done that.
I was-
Everybody's had out fucking fingers for dessert,
Yeah.
haven't they? At one stage or another.
Yeah.
And they're like, sorry if I'm triggering anybody right now.
But there would be times whenever I'd be like really feeling myself because I'd be sitting myself in the mirror all skinny and be going like, yeah, and then fucking taking off my shirt looking like Christian Bale in The Machinist, going like, check this out, check this out.
Anorexic crackhead shake. Was this during your crack smoking?
No. Yeah, like fucking an apple a day is my diet. But that's the.
I love that.
But whenever I started doing stand up, I just felt less need to drink, and I think it was because whenever I was drinking, I felt like I was getting funnier.
Mhm.
So and then I didn't. After a while, I started not feeling like I had to prove that I was funny,
Yeah.
and so I didn't need to drink so much, and then the urge just wasn't there.
That's amazing. Like with stand
I
up,
think-
you're already fulfilling your humiliating yourself in public quota.
Yeah,
Right?
basically,
So
it was
you're like,
filling
you
that
don't need
hole,
to
so I
drink.
didn't have to show my hole.
I was an opsimath in that sense where I learned later on in life that I couldn't drink. I was 29 when I got sober. 30 when did I do my first stand up? I'm doing
2017, 18?
2019.
19? Not that late?
Or
Wow.
no, it was 28.
No, it would have been
2018?
pre 2018 because the PAV got done up in 2018, and your
I
first
came
PAV was
in-
on the sticky floor days.
Yeah, so
when
it
it
was
was
about
dingy.
2018 because Cohen was born. I had him, but he was over a year. So it was early 2018 I did my first gig.
Right.
So
Okay.
how long am I doing stand-up now? Like
6
7
years.
years.
7 years. Look at that. Time
Yeah.
flies.
I started stand-up when I was 30 and now I'm 37. So yeah, that
Really?
makes sense.
You still look about 30.
Aw,
Yeah.
thank you.
This shit keeps you young, I
This
think.
shit does keep you young because you get the...
Because you're
it's
not
kinda
working.
like
That's what it
therapy.
is. Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah,
Only
there's
you
a bit
get
of,
paid, isn't it?
there's a bit of feeling connected to people, certainly, isn't there?
Yeah.
And making a wee relationship with the crowd and everything, all that stuff.
Yeah, and no,
Yeah, yeah.
and just like you see people, and sometimes whenever I notice this, that who is it I haven't seen in a while? Mullet,
Kieran Franco,
no, the
Um,
older mullet.
older mullet.
I'll give you his
Is he
joke.
local. Yeah.
I'll give you his joke.
Aye.
Going to start a football team. Only instead of just our
Okay.
numbers, we're going to have what dose of antidepressant we're on.
Is that Ronan Linsky?
Ronan
Yes,
Linsky!
Yes.
Yes! So
Yes. A lot of love for
he-
Ronan Linsky.
So sometimes whenever you crack a wee dark joke and you see that one audience member really cackling, you go, "You've been there, mate, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've explored the
Yeah.
depths of your soul."
Sometimes someone in a crowd will really resonate with something you say, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
here together,"
Yeah.
you know.
It's like whenever I did my bit in the King's Head, the Doyen, about like praying to God, whenever and
Strike me stone dead.
talking being hungover and like
Aye.
but talking about like Tourette's hangovers.
Yes.
And there was this guy that was like proper, like affirmative fucking, yep,
Yeah,
been
yeah.
there. And I was like, he's done it. Do you know what I mean? He knows the phrase Armitage Shanks. Because,
yeah.
and, looking on the back of a toilet seat, you go, or
Yeah.
the back of the toilet.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I swear to God. So I love that. You do kind of, for a wee moment, you
Mm.
just really bond with people.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially if you're sharing something vulnerable, it feels particularly nice, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Tell you what, do you want to do? No, have you been on since we stopped doing the dirty word in the actual podcast?
I think once. I've
Right,
been
so
on
we're
once.
down. We
Yeah.
have it. It's called
Swear
swear
to.
down.
Oh,
now.
that's fun.
So learning how to call somebody an insult.
Are we on the-
insult someone without swearing.
Are we on the Patreon now then?
Not
No.
yet.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
So
good,
this is
good.
swear down.
Obsequious. Oh,
Yes.
I know this one.
I
Um,
love the word. I just love saying it.
Actually, no, I know it, but I don't know what it means. Doesn't
it's
it mean?
one of those words.
Isn't it just sort of like another word of saying a wee wanker? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
in a way.
the obsequious wee.
Cunt.
It's like it's like cunty. You're behaving cunty.
So I actually picked this word today because the word
Servant cunt.
obsequious came into my head.
Aye.
And it's one of those words that you know what it means, but you don't have a working definition.
Yes.
Like you kind of know how you would use it.
Yeah, you throw it in, but you
So
don't know what it
someone
is.
who's obsequious, would you like me to describe it in square up terms if you were to say it like in a nasty way?
Mhm,
Go,
let's
you
do it.
fucking ball licker.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
ass
right.
kisser, ball licker.
Brown
Oh, so
nose.
it's like a hyphenated insult.
Yeah, it's like a person who is obedient, or here's the definition: obedient or attentive to an excessive or servile degree.
Okay, I get
So
you.
you can have like,
Jobs worths and all.
jobs worths, those kind of people.
Right.
Touting on you to the boss because they're they're an arselick.
Right. Oh, I get
You
you.
know.
Oh, somebody called me that the other day then, because like Leanne Toland, who's a comedian, she's brilliant.
She is
But
brilliant.
she has like a number of relationships where she's very dominant with people. She's told me, like basically, she's sort of gone like, I'm just sick of bad relationships and seeing myself as lesser. So I go now with people who see me almost like as like a sort of goddessy person.
Mhm.
So she goes with a lot of very like submissive fellas
Yeah.
and like, and fair play, whatever works for you. But like basically she showed me some of her texts once, and there were people like literally like saying like calling her a queen and telling her they'll do whatever she wants and all that stuff.
I love that.
And she messaged me the other day with a picture I put up and said, "This has big sub energy. It looks like."
Big sub.
She said
I
it
love
looks like it'd be really easy to drain your wallet, and I was like, "Fucking better women than you have tried."
Ah, you have to have
not
something in
happening.
it for it to be drained in the first place. You fucking need to
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love that
Drain
big
them off, mate.
sub energy.
Yeah, big sub energy. That's an interesting one, isn't
That
it?
is.
I don't
want
really
a
think I
sub.
was giving off big sub energy, but there you go. I think that's the thing, is that the more you protest, the more sub you look anyway. So I'm
Yeah,
just sort of
that's
go,
true.
I just sort
Yes,
of go, yeah, I just sort of went, yeah, all right, okay, and then move on.
That is so sub.
No, that's the, no, I feel like
Yes,
that's
ma'am,
less
I
sub.
am dirt.
I feel like less sub would be going, no, I'm not. But,
Yeah, right, no.
That's really like, well, insecure kind of sub.
That,
if you know what I mean.
insecure. But a lot of people like being submissive because obviously, like people in high powered jobs
This
will
is
go
it.
to see dominatrixes.
My partner's sister used to have like an OnlyFans and do some like financial domination stuff on it. She said, because I would be asking.
Financial. That's something I
There's
got to
be a bit of money in that. I like
financial domination, where you basically tell men that they're pathetic.
Yeah.
To buy you stuff.
Yeah, you just go, just give me the money. Like it doesn't, like you don't even have to do anything pornographic from what I gather.
Yeah.
But and I thought like, oh, that sounds like there's a bit of money in that. And she was like, well, you'd think, right? But she says that she gets some people who are like really keen on the idea of being financially dominated, but don't have the money to do it. So what they'll do is they'll go like, I'm going to give you all my money, and I'm so pathetic, and I'll give you all my money. And she goes, yeah, give it to me, you little worm or whatever. And then they don't do it. Like,
Yeah,
they
but they've already got off on it. And
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah, they're
"Thanks."
like, I'm done. No,
Yeah,
thanks very much.
bastards.
See you later.
It'll cost you fucking £100 up front for me to tell you how useless you are. Do you know what I mean? Get the money up front, girls. That's
Yeah.
what they teach you.
Yeah, and that's how I met my partner.
Yeah,
No money
that's how I
messing.
met your mother. I love that.
Before we go any further, I want to apologise to anybody watching. We've had a couple of wee
I
disruptions.
would like to apologise so far to those watching who may have noticed, especially for the OCD people who are
4K.
continuity experts, will have noticed that during this episode, not only has my drink changed, we should have done something where I was like, no, not Avada Kedavra, like Transformo. My drink has changed. Everything's moved. We're having some technical difficulties, but at the same time,
Yes.
we've had some great conversations in between, which
Oh,
you're not
yes.
going to be privy
You're
to.
never going to hear them.
Because we're talking smack.
They're
about
extra,
No.
extra juicy.
Yeah.
Robert, too juicy, like you choke
Yeah.
on all the juice. Do you know
Cocktail.
Spit on it, thing! Do you know anyone who is particularly obsequious, like who?
Oh, I would feel like
I
a lot
work
of shit
with a few
talking.
people.
Yeah, I left my friggin' last job, and like 80% of the reason was like due to an obsequious.
A wee obsequious
Co-worker?
boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
these
Like-
people sick of me.
Oh God, he had joined the job like about it was in the January, right,
Aye.
of the year, and I left in the October,
Mm.
and
So you made it like 7-8 months.
yeah, and I
With
couldn't
his
stick it
obsequious
anymore.
ass.
Like someone who comes into the job and immediately thinks that they run the place. So
Yeah.
and they're, it's not even as if they were a manager or they were
No.
like they were not they
They're
weren't
nothing.
they were nothing.
Do you know
Like,
people, do
You
you know
ain't
people
shit.
that come into a job and they have like, what's like BDE? BAE, big American energy. You know, like where they're like, right, we're going to do this and we're going to do
yeah,
that.
let's
and you're
go
like,
team.
Dude.
Uh,
and you're just going, I'm
and you're
just
like,
I haven't even had my
Go work
coffee
in
yet.
Haytons. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. That's why I can't do. I worked in. Well, I love if I have to do any job that isn't like performance or like academic related. It'll be waitressing or bar work because you get to talk to people and you're very. I can't do
Mhm.
retail.
No,
No,
I like-
retail. I've walked out of.
they're too quiet. Those jobs.
It's the obsequious people.
Oh
as
right,
well.
yeah.
Like
That's a
see
wee
the
bit of
people who
worming.
are just absolute fucking ball lickers, and you're going, it's TK Maxx, Barbara. Calm down. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
we're literally stacking fucking shelves full of cut price clothes. Stop it. This is not. You're not a career CEO. You know, stop.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It really, yeah. So
It's that they're waiting to be scouted by like fucking.
they think there's an
Man
undercover
United's
boss
Yeah.
or something,
Max.
Yeah.
you know,
You know
that's
what I
going to
mean?
like see how hard they're working. And then you get those obsequious people who don't actually even work that hard,
Yeah.
but their whole thing is they're the boss's fucking tout. So they can get away with doing nothing. I was once working before whenever this girl, I was new in the place. It was a cafe I was working in. And granted, I was a pretty useless waitress back then. I'm a really good one now, but whenever I was starting out, and I was really trying my hardest to like show that like I could do it. And I was on with her one night. So she was the senior
Yeah.
because she would work there longer.
Yeah.
And I was the one who she was making me do everything, and me like a wee dick did it. So she was like, will you brush all those floors at the end of the night, make sure they're all mopped? And I brushed and mopped out all the floors, even though she didn't take one order all night. And the boss pulled me the next day and was like, she said last night that you didn't do anything, like that you. So she actually went and said the opposite to the boss. She was like, bro,
We worked out.
I was like,
Mistake knife.
she got rich off the back of all my fucking elbow grease in terms of going like, look, I did all the floors and did everything. And I just went, can't.
The fucking waitress equivalent of Trevelyan.
Trevelyan, yeah, you fucking traitor. Stole Trevelyan's corn.
I don't know that one.
No, that's a
See, I'm not Republican. I'm not Republican enough. Oh, fuck, right. Yes, I should really know.
You do know what?
I should know the fields of Athenry.
Everybody knows the
I
fields
probably know
of
what to hear.
Athenry.
I know what to hear.
Have you ever been obsequious?
I don't think so. I'm not too bothered. You know what? You could probably find some in stand up around here, but it doesn't tend to last because like sometimes you'll get some folks who are more interested in social climbing than being funny. You know what I mean? But it gets smelled pretty quickly. And I think sometimes it can happen by accident because some of the bigger comics here have been around for a long time. So it's like, so some of the open micers and all can tend to like hero worship when they meet them and all. And it's like they probably prefer it if you treat them like peers rather than like your da, you know? A lot of them are das now as well. So it's like, you know.
Oh, do you think so? Because I'm trying to think who, but then I suppose because.
There's not really that many now, but people can smell it when you do it.
Whenever I gig now, it's sort of like, you're in and you're out, so I don't really get. I see all our usual ones, do you know what I mean? Like all of us, but you get to see all the youngins.
Oh, do you know? And I get them to project all their father issues onto me, and all their head trauma from previous MMA careers. There's a lot of ex-MMA people doing stand up with. Okay, yeah.
I probably maybe because Tyrone and Tommy are the boxing.
That probably doesn't hurt actually. I know you mentioned it. Yeah. It's probably a bit of that too.
You're watching those.
It's all that Joe Rogan-y sort of aspect too. So, but
who's the shittest one you've ever had?
The shittest one. I'll only talk about someone who's not about anymore. Then. It's hard to pin down because once you get past a certain level of shite, it's diminishing returns even in terms of shitness. Like you can't get much more shit than a certain level of shit.
Yeah.
Like I think there's maybe like there was somebody recently who was doing a lot of edgelord shit and like you know all that shit, and then afterwards he's like came up to me and he was like, oh, I'm sorry if it was like a bit too edgy for this crowd, and I was like, it's not that it was too edgy, just nobody laughed, mate.
I know.
They're not doing that on purpose.
What you mean? But, those people that go, yeah, you're fucking underly stupid audience and all, and they start putting down the audience, and you're like,
yeah, grow up. There's somebody from like 2013. It was before I was even running the pat. No, I was running it actually. But there was one that people still remember and talk to me about sometimes when they'll say like, oh, I remember this one time there was somebody who was so bad, and it was just like, I think what it was he was performing to silence, which can happen. Nothing was landing, but also he was like a big guy and he was shifting his weight from left to right and the floor was creaking every time he did that.
So it was distracting.
And it was like people can always remember it. Nobody can remember a word he fucking said, but I can remember the creaking, and I know about 3 or 4 other people who I didn't even know were there that'll tell me they remember the creaking.
The creak. I was up Shit's Creek. Who's the best first timer you've ever had?
It's hard to tell as well because like sometimes people have an amazing first gig because they bring their family and friends.
Yeah,
and
that's what I did.
I have to, right enough actually, and I have to try and account for that in my head. I try and like whenever I remember them, and I go, yeah, that went really well, and I go, but take away about 20% of that in your head to try and get an accurate picture, and that never works anyway. So what I'll do is I'll just keep on having them back until their friends and family stop coming, and then I get to see them actually struggle.
How did that work for you then? Because like now, if I do the Pava would just come alone. So did you see me on my own and go,
No, I don't think I saw you have the stinker there yet, to be honest. But I think I've seen you have a stinker somewhere because we all have stinkers.
We all have a stinker somewhere.
But there was that Armagh one last year. We all had a wee stinker.
Oh my god!
And then I think me and you.
That's really put Armagh right off.
We really no, it was just a one-off. I think
that was.
It was me, you, Ian Thompson MCing,
and we were ringing
that for laughs.
Where you can genuinely go, it wasn't me, it was you.
Yeah.
You know where you can go, it killed everywhere else, and you're the problem.
Andrew Ryan was headlining that as well, who I love, and he lost his shit with him. It was great. You know why he's got a wee temper, hasn't he? Sometimes,
he does,
And but weirdly, I think that won them over a little bit about how much. I think some crowds kind of like it being called out a little bit.
They're subs.
Yeah, they're subs. Yeah.
Big sub energy.
Yeah,
in the
and you
crowd
can't
tonight.
Wish you can't drain their fucking wallet. It's pay their $5 at the door. But he really lost his shit. But I think me, you, and Ian were really ringing them out for. I think nobody really had a terrible time, but and some of us actually had quite a good time. But but they made you work for every
every single
droplet.
It was just as strange, I think, whenever people don't set the room up as well. Like, don't get me wrong, these were people who it was in a theater, wasn't it? So
yes,
they're normally theatre goers. So I'm thinking maybe are they patrons of the arts who are used to maybe just sitting there quietly?
I think there was just some little like environmental factors like lighting as well, and then age. I think, and then Ian told me something about this.
I did get a few. I got a good enough.
No, you did. You did. No, you did.
But at the same time, I was like,
but they made us work for it.
Yeah.
Like they made us fucking work for it.
Like you took your wages unapologetically.
Yeah,
after that
yeah,
one.
you did. Yeah,
yeah, you were like.
But Ian told me something he noticed about that the other night that I forgot about. He's like, I looked around at the crowd and noticed there's nobody drinking, and I was like, maybe that's the thing too. Maybe
social lubricant.
Yeah, I think they're all a bit older.
Yeah.
And so like it was interesting because all the crowd work that Ian was doing, it was like they're an MI5.
They weren't telling them anything. That's
anything.
That's why I had to come out with, you're right, tell them fucking nothing.
Yeah, they were doing the fucking the tout treatment.
It was like, where are you from? Upper Road.
Yeah. And like, what age are you? And then I think he said something like in my 30s or something, or in my 40s or something. Like he didn't give an age, he gave a range. And it's like even will you fucking open your fucking mouth, please.
Where are you from? About.
Yeah. And he did say about.
Actually was
yeah,
what
he did say about that.
And it was like, what?
What is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
But Andrew Ryan really lost the rag with him, which is really enjoyable. Yeah, really.
I love it when Andrew goes on his wee tangents.
Yeah.
He does it with kids on the radio every morning.
Yeah, he does. You can hear him trying not to accidentally say the wrong thing there.
He's like, all right there, Mammy. Are they knocking into school today? No.
Yeah.
No, she has a sore head. Really? Do you think that's a good excuse to be? Is it a really sore head? This actually happened the other day.
Yeah.
Is it a really sore head? And it was like, yeah, but she hasn't really been feeling very well, have you?
He talks to the kids like they're adults. I think that's what it is as well.
That.
Like,
bye.
Yeah.
Bye. You know, he does. He has a very
yeah. He's got them goggles on him.
Andrew would have been one of those people that I would have been drawn to as a kid because he talked to you like you were an adult.
Yeah. He would probably hand you a fucking shot. Like you probably
go, well, do you feel mentally in your own head that you're old enough to be doing this? Because I mean, you can't be dealing with other people.
I don't think he would ask. I think he would just hand it to you and not even think about it. Yeah. And he would talk to you about Patreon viewing figures or something as if you understood what it was.
Yeah, in some really detailed way.
I love talking to him pre-gig. Well, he talks at you. That's what it is. But it's not in a dicky way. It's just like he's in his zone.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy watching him be in his zone. Because
I love the way he'll go before he goes on stage. You go, right, let's go be funny for money.
Yeah.
And then he'd go on the stage. But he's a really good person to question if you do want to like know about an opinion, a genuine. See if you want a straight shooter opinion on something, go to Andrew Ryan.
Absolutely a thinker.
Just go, what do you think?
Do you know what it is? He puts thought into something. But what I really like about him is there's so little difference between who he is on stage and off stage. That's true. That is him. That is him. That is whatever undiagnosed thing he has. Live and alive in charge. You know?
All day long you're paying.
Yeah.
You're paying for it.
100%.
That is true, actually.
Yeah.
Because I kind of, whenever I'm on stage, I would say I have a persona that I like lean into, but it's not entirely false. It's just a really concentrated aspect of my personality.
Yeah, I think it's really close. I think you're another person who's very close to who you are on stage and off stage. The only difference between you off and on stage is you've got a script really on stage,
true,
just a little bit.
Yeah.
I had this recently as well where somebody said to me like, well, obviously the person you are on stage is like some sort of character, isn't it? And I was like, oh no, actually no. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, that feels more like me than I do being fucking a therapist version of myself.
Yeah. Oh my God, are you really like that? Like you're
I
like,
think I'm a bit like that. And then, this is something I've been negotiating with in my head lately is sort of getting the right personality for the right things, if you know what I mean. I'm not doing it right now because I'm on a podcast. So I should be being a bit. I should be a bit more. I should be being a bit more like. And here I'm having a fucking thinky chat. You know,
thinky chat.
I should need to piss more. That's what my. That's what
you should. Luke is deliberately trying the tactic this week also of drinking too much water. So that he needs to pee.
I think it makes me better on podcasts. I think.
Yeah, but just that little edge.
Yeah, I shouldn't be just saying it on every podcast I go to as well. Like, I'm trying to be funnier on this podcast. It's like when someone's like fingering you and they're going, I'm trying to do it this way.
Yeah, what I really want to do is stimulate this in a come hither fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke
I might break
McKibben
your hymen.
edges during podcasts. Pass it on.
Yeah. Where's this guy's other hand? It's like,
Is edging whenever like you're nearly there.
yeah, but you stay nearly there to enhance it, and that does, and you know, or you do it as a way of. Or you do it as a way of training to last longer, which in my experience it doesn't do that very well.
See now, and like, and we're gonna spread a rumor of it, and like every time you're coming on a podcast, like
I'll hide a hand.
Who's coming in today? Luke McKibben. They're going.
Literally comes in.
The edgelord.
Yeah, the edge word. That is absolutely brilliant.
Sitting there, it's just like, why every time about 20 to 30 seconds into every podcast do you stop and you go?
Yeah, that's why there's been, you know, the way we said there was technical difficulties where we had to turn the camera off. It was just a clean-up job on the trousers. And that's why his trousers do smell the way
push
they
too
do.
far, push too
He
far.
left them on the beach, but
Icarus,
really
Icarus flew too close to the sun.
If you were to edge, what's your mental image that slows you down?
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
I just stop. I just do this full stop. I just stop touching. I just there's no image. There's no image because I'm like, I'm here to enjoy myself.
You just
I'm not
have to
here
cease and desist.
Yeah, I just have to just go and then I do a little bit of breathing. I go a little bit of. There's another comedian I know does that during full sex as well. He
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to say who,
Does
but he'll probably he should write a joke about it actually because it's very funny. I'm going to tell him too. But he used to say that whenever he was having sex, sometimes there would be a little break. They'd have a little break in the middle and just have a little
siesta.
a little nap, just to get those last minutes.
What's
out,
your
you know?
mental image if you're edging?
I don't have one. Either.
You don't.
I just go flat down, man. No.
Yeah, full tilt.
9
full
months
tilt.
later, baby Liam. You know? Oh, that's adorable, actually, now that I think about the consequences of that sexual intercourse. Yeah.
The consequence as well. That's a nice word for human life.
My offspring.
My favorite
son.
consequence.
Yeah, my favorite consequence. It sounds like a Creed song.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Hello, my friend. We'll meet again. My favorite consequence. Oh, I remember.
Creed are having a wee resurgence, aren't they? What's that all
I
about?
believe he fell off the wagon Christianly.
Oh, did he and all?
Because he
Does that mean he
never
became more
was on
Christian
it.
or he stopped being Christian?
Apparently, like he just was drafted into that because he was just an industry plug because
Right.
They needed
Christian
somebody
rock.
that was like Christian rock.
Christian rock was like
Right.
happening at the time, so they were like, right, so we just need you to be.
Christian rock sounds like a white version of Chris Rock.
Yeah, it does.
Christian rock.
Hi, my name's Christian Rock, and I'm here to talk to you all
Or
about
it'd be
Jesus.
like a very ill-advised sketchy done in the early 2000s where he does whiteface.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's white people, and then there's I don't know what the equivalent of that
there's
word
this
is.
family
Yeah.
here. Yeah, we're
And
not
then there's
allowed to
really
say
white
it.
people.
Yeah, we've been rewatching Everybody Hates Chris with
Oh
the
yeah,
kids. Yeah, it's
Is it
fucking
good?
brilliant.
Is it stood the test of time?
It is. It has. And not only has it stood the test of time, can I tell you, like,
Wow.
that Curtis and I burst out laughing during an episode and looked at each other, and it was like, it's so funny because watching this back in the day, we were watching it with sympathy for Chris. But now, as adults, we're watching it from the perspective of the mother and father,
you're like,
and it
this
is
little
even
fucker
funnier.
right here.
It's even funnier.
That's really funny.
That's
'Cause
brilliant.
It really is because it's like, your mama will never say sorry, and he's looking at me like this, you know. And I go, stop looking at me in that
You
tone of
forget
voice.
how much has changed in such a short time. I watched I'm not a big Doctor Who guy. I watched an episode of it lately for one of the
Doctor
2000s.
Who?
Yeah, I'm not a big Doctor Who guy.
Doctor Who?
I dip in it.
Sorry.
He
Sorry.
does illegal prescriptions on
Apologies.
the Kiribati Road.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
but I I watched one of the 2000 ones. I dip in and out because it was a big show for me when I was younger.
You're
And
such an edger.
And sometimes
dipping in and out
yeah,
all the time.
yeah, and I watched one of the 2005 ones with Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper. Speaking of Secret Diary of a Call Girl, there,
Yeah.
and she at one point he says something, and he's like, "Oh, it makes me quite emotional." And she goes, "You're so gay." It's like,
You could
wow.
not say that now.
That's really 2005, isn't it?
And do you know what happened actually in Secret Diary of a Call Girl that I went, oh, that's problematic?
Yeah, well,
They're in the hotel and she's a really good judge of like people, you know, not character because she doesn't even have to talk to you, but she'll go, he's, you know, middle-aged, midlife crisis, blah, blah, blah.
he does this
So
and
she's
that.
talking to the concierge and he says, look at her over there in room 501. And she goes, not her. And he goes, what? And she goes, it's not a her. And he says, what do you mean? And she goes, it's tranny. Look, scar on a neck. And I was like,
as if that's an operation that trans people get to remove an Adam's apple.
But I remember I was watching it going, that is not right.
Yeah.
Right now you wouldn't be able to get
if
J.K. Rowling level.
If you knew like a single trans person, they'd be like, you know how expensive this fucking surgery is, or how long you have to wait for it, and you think they'd prioritize getting the Adam's apple removed? That's the fucking last thing you're gonna do.
Is it actually?
I think so. I mean, well, yeah, from what I gather, but I imagine it's probably one of the last things you'd get.
I had a teacher who had a really prominent Adam's apple, and what with being ADHD AF, I couldn't stop looking at it. Like it looked indecent, if you know what I mean. Like it would bobble up and down whenever he was talking.
Like it was there was a phallicness to it.
There was, yeah.
But like not phallic, but bollic.
Yeah, totally. It looked rather indecent. It was like, I shouldn't be able to see this. You should be covering that up.
It's like someone teabagged too far and got stuck.
Yeah. Got a Viagra stuck in my throat and I've had a stiff neck for hours.
He got his tonsils removed, but they fell back down his throat.
Or somebody kicked him in the balls and they just went up really far. Like that's what it looked like.
I'll kick your balls. So they're going to come out your mouth.
You're going to look like you have a double Adam's apple.
Yeah, it's like whenever you come, you have to wait 45 minutes for the cum to reach the actual penis.
Oh my God,
goes through the entire body.
It has to go through security.
It's like a little Lord of the Rings journey from top to bottom.
Yeah, we must get to the mother. Does somebody's ring anyway?
Mount Doom.
Mount Doom. That's the one.
Yeah. What is it?
We must destroy the ring, Frodo.
We must destroy somebody's ring, yeah.
Get out the road.
All day long. We are actually going to go over to the Patreon now. So thank you for Edwina recently subscribed. I feel like we're one of those people because we know all our wee Patreonies. So, well, I do. I
sounds
love
like
and
an
accept
Italian
every one of
surname
yous.
as well. You have little
Patreonies.
My little Patreonies.
Oh, yo, leave the cat, take the cannolis. Yeah, we're going to go over and do our dirty word on the Patreon, and we appreciate you joining us this week with Luke McGibbon. And have you anything coming up, Luke?
Probably. Oh no, I'm going to announce my R there in a couple of weeks or a couple of days. I'm waiting on somebody to get back to me with a quote as well.
What's it called?
It's called Journeyman.
Love
so it's
it.
going to be in the Black Box on the 28th of December.
Black Box, 20th of December.
So bigger room than I'm used to, and at a
big
weird
room?
time. Yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens.
Do
Do you think? I don't know. But I mean, if I sound desperate enough, maybe you should buy a ticket.
He's funny as fuck.
I'm crying.
You definitely should go, like, all day long. Do you want to come in for the pit? Oh,
here.
thank you.
Here.